All right, and we are live.
Regionfree makes my nipples hard. So let's go.
We will return to London after midnight on WTSF.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about it a lot. I just wanted to hear your voice. You know what today is, right? I can't stop thinking about it. About what happened. And to his face. It was just a prank. What do you mean for that to happen? It's been 5 years.
Welcome back to the jungle where we have fun and games. Did we lose someone already? Did we lose someone already?
What?
He appeared at the last second.
That's what happened there.
There
Hey
you go.
everyone, welcome back to Region Free in August. Just a quick go around the table here. How hot is it where you are? I actually had a fairly mild day, and I'm going to be the only one that says that. It was only about 80 at the hottest here. Steak, how hot do you got it?
I think it topped out today at 76.
Ooh.
I have not experienced this heat wave other than like a few days this year.
Steak keeps it cool.
Daddy's got Lake Erie on his side, I think, is what's helping.
Can I call you daddy? Or is that just something, is that your word?
I'm everybody's daddy.
My safe word is pachyderm. Sam, what kind of weather we got down in the Texas?
This past week, the lowest high has been 102.
Ooh.
The lowest.
Yeah.
I think the highest it got this week was, apparently it was 106 on Thursday.
Record setting. Dan, what do you got?
Somewhere north of 100, worst air quality in like forever, apparently.
It's just Atlanta, though.
But region free, still making my nipples hard.
Absolutely. And I think the winner of this competition is going to end up being Christian. What's the weather?
Oh, it's been great, actually. No, it's been horrible. It's like you can barely breathe. It's so hot. It's like swallowing. Yeah. It's like swallowing invisible bricks. It's brutal.
I'm going to title this episode "Swallowing Invisible Bricks" now. No question about it. That is how this world works.
The Christian Hanna story: swallowing visible bricks.
Tonight on a very
On
special
Lifetime.
ABC original movie.
Sci-fi original, Swamp Ass.
Definitely a sci-fi original. Definitely.
Listen,
No shame either.
I got the best sci-fi original ever made on Blu-ray this week, so I'm happy.
Ooh. Ghost Shark?
No, that'd be Terminal Invasion, of course.
You have to say Terminal Invasion.
Yeah,
so.
Kino did that. That was great.
It's a phenomenal small movie. Yeah, it's a Thing ripoff, but it's amazing.
That's great.
And it's great that it finally got a really nice release.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you want to read some mail?
Yeah.
Jonathan, take us good.
If you all had the talk to me hand, and what dead person would you want to see? Okay.
That's a good question.
Anyone got anyone in mind to talk to communicate?
Fez Marie Watley.
I got questions for Kennedy. Like, where did you feel it hit first?
I think he'd be the
So we
last
can get
person who
into
could answer
direction.
that mystery, though.
I'm just saying,
He'd be like,
do you remember your head going back or forward, bro? I need to know.
Back and to the left.
like, Mrs. Connolly said
Back
something
to the
about me
left.
not being able to say that Texas doesn't love me, and then it hurt. Yeah, that's all I remember.
And you just wasted it. And then you got to be like, your brother's like, he's cool, but.
If I put the hand in my lap, does Pee Wee Herman appear?
Wow.
Wow, dude. Oh man, too soon, Krillin. Jesus.
I didn't even get a laugh. That was just like too far.
Too soon, man. Too soon. Man, just
Rubens was a
Herman
beautiful
appears
song.
with a shoebox full of photos that'll get you arrested. Why did everyone forget that happened?
H.P. Lovecraft would be my serious answer. Although I feel he'd just be annoyed. I probably wouldn't get
He
much.
was a pretty nice guy, actually, to most people, as long as you dressed him like, respectfully.
Yeah.
And you're white.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
I want to ask William Friedkin if he just died so he wouldn't have to deal with Exorcist Believer.
God,
Because that's
you took
impressive.
the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm a believer. It's gonna be good.
Go fuck yourself.
There's a 0 chance of that movie being any good. I to be completely honest with you, I don't have a great answer for this because I always think that the people who wanted to leave behind something for us to learn from did with their lives. But I really think that if I had my choice, I would really love to go back to someone like Genghis Khan, learn the language, and then say, really, man, what were you really thinking that you really wanted the world? Because how do you manage that after you win it?
I mean, he's the ancestor of how many people on this planet?
Well, probably all of us.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I
My
just
Papaw Genghis. I just remember the good times at his place.
any of the guys who tried to take over the whole world, I just don't understand what their end game really looked like.
Yeah, like when you get there, you're the dog chasing the car, right? Like when you get the car, like what do you do with it?
How do you know that you don't want the car until you catch it? That's the thing.
That's true.
I'm thinking there's a lot of riding around on a horse to get that in those days. I don't like horses, so this was never an option for me.
Cars are just steel horses.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say I'd pick Roger Corman, but the son of a bitch is still
He's
alive. 97.
And hasn't declined at all. Just sharp as a tack, and I might talk about him tonight, actually.
I think so. All right, so Christian, please read the next piece of mail.
Which of this crew are most likely to be a lizard person?
Lorne.
Asked by Ben Brown.
I don't like where that's going. I'm gonna say Jonathan, actually. Jonathan could. Yeah, definitely.
See the skin? It's silky smooth, sir.
It depends what they mean. If they mean like lizard people, like conspiracy theory lizard people, or do they mean like V? Because I would love to be a V.
It's V for sure.
Yeah, then I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I'll win that.
There you go.
Because I get to hang out with Jane Badler in 1984. I'm down. Okay, let's go to a tougher question.
That's a tougher question?
Is Stephen King overrated as an author? From our good friend, the real Fifth Beatle.
And I
Read
just
it,
want to point out
read
that
it with a British accent, please.
please, yes.
Yes, please, Dan.
I don't do accents.
Please.
Is Stephen King overrated as an author?
That was very nice.
Is Patrick Stewart here?
I want to point out that I kept
Stephen King
misspelling of
overrated
Stephen
as an
King.
author.
Oi, prick!
I was going to ask you about the spelling, Lauren. I saw that.
It was the original spelling. I didn't want to censor the man, so.
I feel he's
Maybe-
overrated. A little bit overrated.
Oh, that's perfect, Christian.
Overrated.
He talks in roller coaster. Overrated. Like you gotta put like.
It's very John Lennon-y, and I guess because Liverpool, but they all sound like they're like asking a question when they're making a statement.
I think he's a talented author, But yeah, because he's like the only author most horror fans can name. Maybe they can name 3, maybe 4 living.
Probably the only living one, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there are better authors out there, better horror authors out there. More than a few, quite frankly. And so, yeah, he is.
Let's be fair about this, though. I mean,
that's not Stephen King's fault, though. That's the
no, it's not his fault.
So here's the deal. Like, I've always said that horror is, and I shouldn't probably say this, but horror is one of those things that once you get comfortable in life, when you get rich, when you get famous, you have immense respect. It's hard to tap into what really scares you. It just is. It's harder than for the average person scraping by doing a 9 to 5. So you get distance and you start going for these themes that are kind of intangible to a lot of readers.
Hey, I'm on the show, okay? I'll be back in a little bit.
You need to take you
So,
and your family to Compton or Watts and spend a week in a hotel. Get back with your roots.
Right. So it's not King's fault that he's been wildly successful and probably is never going to write something as scary as The Shining again, right? That's just not in the DNA of what he's become. That said, the media has made him the only name in horror. And I think that is an awful thing because it's hurting all of us.
We talked about A Knock at the Cabin and how they did not even bother having Paul Tremblay's name on that.
Yeah.
So strange. And a guy that's probably got, I know pretty much everything he's done, I think, is optioned. So why not take a shot at it? King's not going to be around forever. Everything's been adapted, minus maybe 1 or 2 stories at this point. So
I'm still waiting for a Rose Madder adaptation. Nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Revival's the other weird one that I don't believe has been done yet, which is the best of his more recent-ish books. But it will. It's King. They'll do it all. Then they'll move on to Joe Hill.
Oh,
probably.
God, stop it. Stop, okay?
I mean, I come off as negative towards King to some people because I'm very tempered. But honestly, Night Shift and the Shadows anthologies from Grant are the 2 reasons why I wanted to write. So I can't be exactly that guy who's like, "Oh, King's overrated." Well, he put in hard work at a certain time that changed the business, and all the people today, Tremblay and everyone else, is kind of standing on his shoulders to some degree, and that should be respected. But that said, what the media has done to King to elevate him to this impossibly high position, I think is a disservice to him and to us. So, all right. Final piece of mail we got. And Sam, if you could read.
Question: Is anyone forward to watching Natty Knox? From, I don't know if this is Big's Lick Anything or Big Slick Anything.
Oh, that's
I
got to
like
be Big
Big's
Slick
Lick.
Anything.
That's got to be Lick, right?
None of this shit makes any sense.
Oh, what is 4? Do I send it?
I think-
is it a chain letter?
Dan, you've seen Natty Knox, right?
I have not. That's actually my after podcast watch because we're going to review it. Yeah, it looks decent. I know what Robert Englund's in it. There's a couple big names in it. I'm forgetting who the other one was, but
Danielle Harris.
There you go. There you go. That doesn't necessarily mean a good movie, though. If we're being
No, I would
honest.
say it implies the opposite. If I'm
Yeah.
100%. I don't know where you were going. with
She
that,
is
but
allergic to good roles.
She
Oh,
I've
but
heard some good
the
things.
Legends reunion.
She's pretty. She doesn't have to be in good movies.
Like they brought her back
She's
for
gonna be
an
fine.
episode of The Connors just to kill her.
Yeah.
You remember she used to be on the show and then she was just gone? Well, now
Yeah.
she's dead.
She was a hoe. She was a
Well,
hoe
she-
in the original version too, wasn't she?
She overdosed, didn't she?
She was
That's
a hoe, and
Roseanne.
she was
No,
taking
actually,
rods from
she
a
was a-
concert.
Yeah, she just like she was banging a fella. I don't think it makes her.
Mm,
It wasn't like it was 6 fellas outside of a car. Like
I like the limit is 6. It's 6.
so,
7 is too much.
Overkill.
It's like
It's
5 and a midget.
There's
who can handle more than 6 is really just the
it's
point.
only
It
so
wasn't-
many options.
So are you saying 6.25?
This brings us to our
Is that
next
what-
question.
How's that for a tonal shift?
There you go.
So we lost.
Thanks to Friedkin.
We lost William Friedkin. So now the two architects of The Exorcist, which, along with Romero's Night of the Living Dead, is unquestionably the two most important films leading to modern horror. We now have a bunch of Exorcist films, including one coming out. And we have exactly two good movies by most people's estimations. I'll hear arguments, but I think that pretty undeniable that two stand way above the others. And they both involved one of the two men, one of the Williams, and one of them involved both. So how do we get The Exorcist from these two men? And why can't anyone give us another one of these successfully who's not named Friedkin or Blatty?
Money. I mean, studios essentially are just in it for the profit, right? They're not really concerned about quality for the most part.
But
I know that's probably too superficial of a take, really. I know
that's exactly how I feel, to be honest with you. Why would a studio care what I think about the movie as long as I bought it?
Yeah.
Paid to see it.
But I also don't think there was like a ton of thought put into it back then either. I mean, it was a business at the end of the day back then too. So it's not like I don't think there was a ton of people like, this is art and we have to get it out there. Bottom line was they had to make money. But so I don't even know if you could use that.
I don't know. It was the Wild West back then, though.
I think that is sort of the kind of the problem. Is like 1973 was quite a long time ago at this point. Like it's, I think Lorne was
born
20, 25,
born, just born. Yeah, but it was a much different time in society. I mean, like Jesus Christ and religion held a much more firmly rooted place in America, at least. And I mean, and in other religions, in different parts of the world, Christianity still being obviously one of the biggest. And whatever. I'm not trying to make it a whole thing on society, but like morally, we were in a much different place, better or worse. That's not for me to say, but so something like this, a movie like this, can really fucking spread like a wildfire because it's fantastically made and it's terrifying. It's also incredibly controversial.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys. I was thinking, why can't we have something like this now, right? And it feels like there's kind of there's a different shift with the things that are important to us, and now it's on a more individual level, right? Like it doesn't, like when Steak was saying religion had a big part in society. Now everybody kind of isn't really, not everybody is as religious as they used to be, and some people are just kind of like doing their own thing. They have their own belief systems, but we relate more to like stories that resonate within our own individuality, and especially because we have the internet. We can find anything that we want on the internet. We can find our tribes a lot easier. So kind of, putting together these movies that are, bigger ideas, like about the nature of spirituality, you're probably not going to hit the same these days. Is it like,
that's it with the kind of, you kind of finished my thought because I failed to, like
my bad,
now we are able to, as you said, kind of find our own tribes worldwide. It's not just who's ever is in town. So like even if you are still religious or spiritual or whatever, you're practicing kind of on your own time, your own piece of the earth or whatever platitude you want to throw out there for that. But
so it's interesting because I think Sam hit on the key issue here, right? And Steak led her to it. I would say Hereditary is interesting because it's nearly an identical story to The Exorcist in many ways. It's ultimately a story about possession, but it focuses on the family dynamic and in the collapse of the family, which also exists in The Exorcist, but it's already done. The family's already collapsed in The Exorcist, and that it forms the basis for the question of, the missing father figure in the Reagan house is also, God as an absentee landlord, as Blatty put it in The Exorcist. So, but the modern take has to be contained to that house. I mean, there's a reason the house is on the poster of Hereditary. It gets the shoebox right, and even the house becomes a tree house at the end. It becomes a very much smaller space. It follows that slasher logic of you continue to get smaller and smaller in your settings if you want to increase the tension. But I think Hereditary is as close as we're going to come right now, and to something with the impact, but it's not going to have the societal impact that the Exorcist have people passing out in theaters and lining theaters for months on end to see the movie.
I don't. Obviously was far too young to have experienced it, but like by 73, I mean, we'd only just gotten like the Vietnam War footage and things of that nature. If you want to use Hereditary just to kind of be a mark in time, we're watching beheadings for fun, a lot of us. So like even that is just, what we can handle is just expanded so far past the realms of what it was in 73.
I mean, like look at, the beginning of the summer. Remember Ocean Gate? Remember everybody like there were memes going around before anybody knew what happened to those people.
We all knew what happened to those people. We all knew they were.
What I'm saying is just
it was immediate indifference. It was wild.
Yeah, it was basically they're billionaires. Fuck them.
They asked for that when they put out the price of the ticket.
I'm not making not making judgments on the memes. I laughed at the memes too. I'm just saying it's like back in the 70s, was this a thing where we were all making jokes about people like actually dying in horrible ways in real life and waiting to find out if we were correct? Because it's
the cool people were.
Huh?
The cool people were.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't a cool person in the 70s. I hadn't been born yet. Lord.
Do I own the 70s now?
You're the old
on this panel. Yeah, you're the only one that can tell us what it looked like.
It was sepia tone.
Yeah,
and the fashion was painful, and there was a lot of corduroy involved.
We had guns in malls, though. We had gun stores in malls.
I didn't have a mall near me until like the 80s. So.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll stop talking in a second. I swear to God. But I just wanted to point this out. Like with Hereditary, I think the reason that it is easily like people latch onto it a lot, very easily, is because generational trauma is kind of, it's as big a part in most people's lives as religion can be. It's just we hadn't really done we've obviously been exploring down the generational trauma rabbit hole, but I think like this one was such like a different take, and it was sort of like generational trauma is the A plot, the possession and in the cult, that's the B plot. It's secondary to that, so I think that's how it works.
Do you want me? Let's get demonetized. So you really want to know another key component of Hereditary that no one's willing to talk about, but it's a big part in the movie? Is that Payman possesses Charlie, but is unhappy with a female body and wants a male body.
Yeah, I thought that was loud
and
clear,
the parents can't deal with that.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude,
it sneaks relevance right under the mat.
Oh no, I mean for real though, it's like they were kind of, if you watch Hereditary going back, like those parents are not super attentive. They're like, maybe an accident will happen and we won't have to deal with our burden.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, mom actually wants to just burn her family alive. I mean, true. Yeah. So, but I think that the reason we can't get something exactly like The Exorcist is partially what Dan has suggested, partly what Steak has said, and a lot of what Sam has said, which is that we don't share the same value system anymore that we used to across communities. So it's harder to tell holistic stories to the entire horror community. Now, The Exorcist does it very well. Even I'm an atheist who thinks that The Exorcist is brilliant, and the drama works for me. Now, on some level, you'd expect it not to, right? Because I'd be like, the devil. But because there's those early scenes to compartmentalize the devil among other evils. So we get the evils of medicine. You know, we get to see the spinal tap, which is the most horrifying thing in the movie. We get the most important scene in the movie, which is actually a shot in the hallway where Reagan is listening to her mother have a phone call with her, trying to get her father on the phone because he didn't make a phone call to his daughter on her birthday. And she states very provocatively, he just doesn't give a shit. Mm-hmm. That's real horror for a lot of families. So it sneaks all that in, and then, oh yeah, by the way, here's the devil.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
I did watch it last Wednesday night just to kind of have it fresh in my head again, and it swims through that first hour. You're just kind of like, oh shit, what's wrong with her? Everything's, you know, and then it's just fucking boom. I think that's one of the greatest things about the movie. I don't know who really in particular to credit for that. But fuck, I should watch it more often, I feel like. But it's just fantastic movie.
I think I think that trying to do that story now from like a Christian mythology is just so overplayed now. So I find it more interesting when you try and tackle it from, you know, I don't know, a Muslim or, you know, what have you, something a little different, a different culture. There's a lot of Exorcist ripoffs that are not bad. They're not poorly made, but they're bland because it is just so familiar at this point. It's kind of, you know, you've seen one, you've seen it all kind of deal for the most part. And, you know, you look at something like Exorcist Believer, and again, just seeing the trailer, who knows? Maybe it'll be good. I have really bad feelings about it from, you know, what I've heard, but it's just so cheap. Like, okay, we're gonna do 2 possessed kids. It's
whoa,
yeah.
What's that? What's this one here? Oh my god!
And we did just have Exorcist. We had a TV show. Nick and some of the guys were talking about in the chat that had some very good ideas. It just, I don't know. It's just let it go. I don't even remember the last 2 Exorcist movies. I saw them. I couldn't tell you next to anything about them. I remember Stellan Skarsgård, and they're just very bland and unnecessary. You got 2 great Exorcist movies.
So with Believer, is this 2 different demons, or is it the same demon in 2 bodies? I have questions about this. I'm concerned.
And that's why you're not allowed to see the movie. No sale. Thank you.
It's not 2 demons. It's just 1 demon and a guy named Damon, and everybody's very confused.
Because I mean, like, I'm just thinking, it's like, okay, so we're definitely killing off Ellen Burstyn. Like, she's going to go and be like, no, take me, and throw herself down a flight of stairs or something like that, right? What about the other demon?
Yeah, you can see the movie. I know exactly what they're going to do.
Are we going to shoot the girls in the head? Are we going to pull that trigger? Probably not.
Oh, no. I promise we won't. You'll notice that someone is missing from the trailers entirely, who's pretty important and a major cast player. So that's your answer to all that.
It's going to be, get out of my mom, you bitch.
Exactly.
Sort of moment. That's what we're going to get.
Because there's 2 possessed kids, I thought the film should take a hint from James Cameron and title itself Exorcists.
Yeah.
Okay, it took me a second. I'm sorry.
Now, you know what? Yeah. I've yet to meet someone in the horror community or outside of it who's excited about Exorcist Believer. There's just no one wants this fucking thing.
Yet I feel it's gonna do well.
Of course it is.
That's the only thing. I feel like it'll do well. It's position.
And everyone who sees it will be seeing it to make a YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And I'll see you guys in October or whatever. Like,
yeah. That fucking sucked as everybody leaves the theater.
I hope it tanks horribly
No, it won't.
and just
I
blows
hear
up in
you.
their face. But
Mm.
I don't think there's much of a chance that happens.
Well, aren't we already
No.
getting a sequel, Deceiver?
It's announced. They haven't shot a frame of it. Christian, I want your thoughts on Believer.
I mean, I like everybody else has said, I've already seen this movie just by the trailer. But there's people out there that could write a really good Exorcist film, but I don't believe we're going from William Peter Blatty to fucking Danny McBride. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. No disrespect to Danny on a personal level. I think the guy's actually kind of funny, but I find it very sad. It's very sad. We're going from William Peter Blatty to Danny McBride.
Some advice for Mr. McBride. You can't make it funnier. Scary Movie 2 already did it.
Stop it. I was thinking.
Just make it compelling. Or at least try. Give it a shot.
You know what? I'd like to revise my question about the talk to me hand question from the mail section. I'd love to talk to John Borman instead, just so I could say, dude, you didn't make the worst Exorcist movie anymore. He'd be like, thank you. I won't do anything bad as a demon to you. I don't know. Anyone in the chat, if anyone out there is actually excited for this thing, like, please just let us know. We won't point and laugh too hard, I promise.
We saw the trailer
Also,
first. We saw the trailer for Saw, Exorcist, and everything, and Sydney was like, "It's really sad that Saw looks so much better than a fucking Exorcist movie." On the trailer. You know,
it really did look good, though. I was pleasantly surprised.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
And I agree, Chris.
Little inside baseball. I wait for a gap. People talking, and I push the button, and then immediately someone starts talking. So it sounds like
It wasn't
not what's happening here.
That makes it funnier.
It does, actually. So guys, how would we survive a summer camp massacre? We've all seen the movies, right? We arrive on a bus, so we don't have individual cars for some reason, because that happens in life. Our cell phones don't get any reception, and the landlines are all cut in the middle of the rainstorm, and one by one, our friends are disappearing. So we decide first maybe to try and hook up, but if that doesn't work, how do we survive?
Is it a land-based monster?
It's a guy with a fucking knife.
All right, I'm burning the whole campground to the floor. Like, just
wow.
Yeah, it's like,
Scorched earth.
I don't know where he could
Smokey
be.
the Bear is crying right now.
That might be the most Texas answer to this question ever.
I'll just
That
kill the whole
puts you in.
goddamn thing, man.
Do I have a
That
nuke?
puts you in danger too.
Do I have a nuke?
Look, I'm just calling it as it's just gonna be controlled burning. I'm controlling it, But no, burn it to the ground, and then I'm hopping down I'm grabbing an inner tube and hopping down the river. I'll catch you motherfuckers later.
But falling branches, Sam, dead. They'll hit your raft. You're not thinking that one through.
It depends on how
that's the ending of The Woman in
is.
Black.
Huh?
I don't know.
All right. Hey, no, man. Just, please go ahead. What you got?
If they're a supernatural killer,
That's why I need the clarification.
It could be any of that. You don't know. That's the problem, right? You don't know whether it's an undead zombie killer or whether it's a tourist trap situation, whereas a guy can manipulate mannequins, or you just don't know. It could be any of that.
Okay, let's really think about this. Other than we have to be very dumb, first of all, okay? Because all these people are extremely dumb in these camp slashers, right? So barring all the roadblocks that stop these people from getting out, like what is going to stop you? Okay, the car keys are not going to work, right? Mm-hmm. For sure. We're in a camp slasher. Like, you can't find the keys, battery's dead, whatever. So are you fighting or are you running? I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna say this: I got one good wheel. I ain't running for shit. But I'm not
You're bigger
awful
than
with
me,
a
though,
knife.
Steak. Like, you
From
stand
my
a chance.
time in kitchens and living in the back of a Dodge Journey, working in nightlife, I had to diffuse situations. Perhaps I can talk to the killer, maybe calm things down.
Let
He
us
just wants
talk.
his machete back.
Jason, let's talk
That works.
about your mom.
See, you're large
Oh,
enough to
I
use
can knock his
Lorne.
fucking block off. I don't know.
You're big enough to hit the
It's-
killer with Lorne, like as a weapon of
Oh,
some
sure.
sort. So, like this doesn't like this is a whole
Oh,
different thing.
wait,
for
wait,
you.
wait,
You'll
wait.
just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna see what this guy's about.
Can I
Like,
just use my lizard person powers then somehow?
Ooh, good question.
There you go.
Thought we
I figure,
established
like, if-
some continuity with this episode.
Well, you can regrow your tail. We know that. So
I do
Options
recon.
1, 2,
Hey,
and
it's
3 don't
an
work out
impressive
very
tail.
well. Shot.
I do recon. I figure out, okay, that's the slutty one. That's the jock. Okay, I convince them, hey, you guys should go make out by the river over there, a couple miles into the woods. And then I see they're going to die. I'll figure it out. Okay, is this supernatural? Is this just mutated? Whatever. Get an idea of what I'm dealing with.
Is it a female camp counselor with a dick? You don't know.
There you go. There you go. You got to do the Crocodile Dundee. You got.
I know one reason that I would be like, I would probably survive if it's anything like my actual adolescence. I'm definitely not getting laid, so I do have time. Like, I'll be aware of things. Like, I won't be like blinded by all this. I'll be like, you guys see this shit, right? Like, it's not just me. So I'd get out very early. While they're all just hormone banging. I'll be out there running away.
Run at the first sign of trouble. It's always a good thing.
But what if the killer catches you because you're alone, running away? Everybody else is buddied up.
I'll just rub it in, why don't you, Sam? Good Lord, I tried,
I'm just saying.
I tried to make small talk. It just didn't go anywhere. I don't know.
That was pretty much bullying, Sam.
Yeah, wow, thanks. Wow. I'll leave. You died because you're unlovable. That's what happened.
So I kind of played this whole thing like us 6 were, transported essentially to a summer camp. Whichever, I didn't really think too heavily about which movie we were going to be in, whatever. So as far as rules, but I basically came to the conclusion that Lorne and Dan, well, probably out of the 6 of us, have the most knowledge of like horror movies and shit. So potentially they can kind of guess and jump, what this gentleman's going to be doing. But ultimately, you get too cocky, and then he just goes, gotcha. I knew you knew.
See, I could see Dan.
So you 2 are out.
Dan would fuck a rule up with like a porn parody, and like he'd go to hit him with a huge dildo, and nothing would happen. Damn it! This worked in the movie.
Those things are hefty.
These are Ron Jeremy's bronzed testicles.
You mean the movie Live?
Swinging it by the shaft.
Dennis the Menace slingshot.
I'm gonna say those are effective. I was in a movie, true story, where I was beaten.
What kind of movie?
A legit movie, even though it doesn't sound like it. And I was beaten to death by a dildo. They're very heavy and they hurt. So
they're annoying.
In last year's great supernatural slasher, Mask of the Devil, there is a murder with a dildo. And absolutely. And that movie
Is it a rubber dildo? Because they have glass ones too, and they're not. Like,
it's rubber, but it's all on how you use it. Clearly,
maybe the killer's
I
a
just
germaphobe.
don't see killing someone with a dildo, or me being killed by a dildo.
Not quickly.
Now,
with someone with a knife, you don't try that.
Glass dildo, you could definitely go and gouge out an eye.
Yeah, but like,
there you go.
I don't know.
Sounds like it's coming from experience.
No comment.
Summer camp. That's a summer camp story for you.
See, and everyone was worried we were going to make it too classy of a show.
Jonathan's going to be doing good because he's going to be smoking right along, kind of staying calm. But then that 500 milligram edible hits, and he just goes.
I may be more effective.
He's going right into the power box.
Christian was tough to parse out because I know he does a lot of jogging.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Be
feel
the
like
fastest
he's got
guy.
pretty good cardio to get away, stay
Yeah.
away. But
Just make sure you don't
as we
trip.
find out, sometimes there's booby traps.
I was thinking I'd climb it.
Unfortunately.
I was thinking I'd climb a tree. Is what I would do.
Oh,
As long as like I wasn't, if I knew the killer went in another direction with somebody, I'd run away and just like climb a big tree.
You could hop from tree to tree.
And I ain't got nothing but time to kill. I'll wait in that motherfucker.
I was thinking something very similar. I was saying rooftop, but I take cooking oil with me.
Ooh,
so you
slippery.
Spray that shit down. You hide by the chimney of the cabin. You're good.
They can just burn the cabin down.
Arrows.
Again, burn everything.
I mean,
is the summer camp?
Yeah, Sam's gonna get you killed, Lorne.
Here's a big one. This could end the movie very fast.
Jason can knock out the support wall.
Is the summer camp in a constitutional carry state? Because that could end the movie in 5 minutes.
Well, see, that was also my thought. Is that several of you are going to be, better off than like myself, in that manner. But I figure I'm going out like MC Gainey and Club Dread. Just kind of, I'm gonna go up. Well, I'm gonna knock your block up, buddy, and just my guts are out on the sand.
Thank you for bringing that movie up, Say.
So I did, kind of played all this shit out, and I decided it's fucking Camp Slasher. Sam wins. That's it. Roll tape.
It is the final girl traditionally, so she would have the best odds.
Wait! It's 2023. Any of us can identify as final girl.
Yeah, but we would bitch about it if we lived, though. We'd be very upset.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the final girl, Sam. You're decapitated in the opening act.
This is horse shit. We all know she should have lived.
Yeah.
The fuck you trying to say? Woke ass.
2023.
So many bad people on Twitter and wrestling wrestling. God damn it! I meant the internet horror community, not the internet wrestling community. Same thing, pretty much.
I can be Heather Langenkamp. God damn it! Look at me. You want this face on the?
You don't have that cool
art.
streak in your hair, though.
It's in his beard.
In his beard,
he has
yeah.
a streak. Now it works.
Plenty of streaks now. It works.
What did Freddie drag across that
it's
to
just
make
as
it
fluffy.
white?
I don't know. It got white during COVID, so who knows?
You saw some shit.
I saw some shit.
Big COVID fight. He was on the
It'll
front
be
lines with Mr. Fauci.
Totally gray after Exorcist Believer. It'll just.
Oh, Jesus.
Now I'm a believer.
I don't know. I feel like Dan's beard is just gonna fall off after Believer.
That's possible.
It's gonna develop mange.
That or I'll be a fat wizard. It's just gonna be like full on. Hair will grow back.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, I'd make a good whatever his name was.
You're kind of like, you're kind of a Yankee Hagrid.
Hagrid, there you go.
Wow. I would really like to see Jason Voorhees try to climb a tree.
You could just cut the tree down, though. Like that's the
not
thing.
with a goddamn machete. You can't.
No. What you get? You'd get a shot of him looking at the tree, and then the next shot, the camera would be on its side.
Yep.
And he'd be walking straight up the tree like Batman.
Christian's gonna get halfway up there. There's gonna be some pissed off owl that starts fucking him up, and he's gonna fall right down onto a machete. The end. Second death. I'm still alive.
So I love how no one is actually trying to survive this. We're just trying to kill each other.
Well, like I said, you have to assume like everything that we try, like is going to be, something's going to be tampered with. So like, I'm just going to leave. Like that's not really an option, is it?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to call for help. Well, there's something that's made. We're in a camp slasher, so for some reason, cell phones don't work.
You could. What would happen? Because Professor Tickles brings up a good point. Never thought I'd say that. In the chat,
Tickles.
Give Jason hard drugs. What happens to Jason if you just like hit him with some Molly?
No, I think if you give Jason some mushrooms, you could sit down and really work through some shit.
If you give Jason Molly, he's pulling his pants down and you're toast.
Yep.
Or he'll call his siblings that are 6 hours away and tell them how much he loves them.
Yeah. I think you could work it out if Jason's on.
And then
drugs.
get drunk at the bar and eat Doritos with a stripper. And
Hey, have you guys had those jalapeno Doritos yet?
the what? The jalapeno pineapple ones?
Yeah, I haven't yet.
I haven't yet.
They're so good.
I haven't found them. They sound great, though.
Get them.
Yo, I'm gonna say that the hot mustard have been the best Doritos
I don't
of
like
the
hot
year thus
mustard.
far.
I found them one time Jonathan. They were delicious, but I haven't seen them since.
I've managed 2 bags, and that was all.
You've never only had 2 bags.
I guess. Well, no, this time I did because it was just an issue. Like it was
there was a conflict.
There was no availability. Like I'm not saying I stopped at 2. I'm saying the world stopped me at 2.
Oh my god!
I just want to see Jason like stroking somebody's face, just really confused.
Did you not see Jason Goes to Hell?
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true. That's what happens.
Jason's definitely
You ate
tripping
a
throughout that
mushroom.
whole goddamn movie.
It shaves your chest.
30 years old today. Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, nice.
Please
Huh.
believe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Lovely movie, that is.
Better than the Exorcist Believer.
Oh my god, infinitely better.
Gets better with age.
Hell yeah, so do I.
The
I
opening
don't.
is good.
I don't.
Good evening, Region Free. Last Wednesday, we lost rock legend Robbie Robertson. He was the lead guitarist for Bob Dylan back in the 1960s, along with the band, which included Richard Manuel, Rick Danko, Garth Hudson, and Levon Helm. All of them and more were the stars of not only my favorite Martin Scorsese film, but also my #1 film of 1978, even eclipsing Halloween and Superman. The Last Waltz took place at San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom. It was Thanksgiving 1976, and ticket holders were treated to a full turkey dinner before the concert. At 9 a.m., the grand chandeliers were illuminated for the first tune, Up on Cripple Creek. Soon it dawned upon the audience that this was more than just a concert. It was a celebration, as more legends took the stage to sing with the band. First was Ronnie Hawkins, then Dr. John, and then cocaine-smudged Neil Young for Helpless. Naturally, Dylan showed up to do Forever Young and Baby Let Me Follow You Down, but almost didn't want to be filmed. Neil Diamond dries his eyes, Joni Mitchell flirts with her coyote, Eric Clapton goes further up the road, which includes Van Morrison and his caravan. Finally, a Beatle and a Rolling Stone join everyone for the climactic I Shall Be Released. A depressed Scorsese took no salary for The Last Waltz after the embarrassing bomb, New York, New York. He even appears on camera at certain points interviewing the band. And 2 more numbers were shot with the Staples and Emmylou Harris in a studio. The result is the greatest concert film ever made and an essential document of the era. The Last Waltz is available free on Tubi and on 4K Blu-ray courtesy of Criterion. In closing, I challenge anyone out there to karaoke the entire album, but I guarantee we are not going to reach Levon Helm's vocal levels for the anti-war masterpiece, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. Rest in peace, Robbie Robertson. Please enjoy The Last Waltz if you've never seen it before. Thank you, Region Free. Have a good night.
Hey, Stone.
That was nice.
Nice.
It was.
Does anyone have a favorite concert film?
Ooh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their shells tour.
That's a
Hell yes.
That's a thing.
If you went by the one I've watched the most in my life, it's that one.
Me too. I went to one of those shows. It was amazing.
Oh my god! A couple times a day, every day.
That counts as a concert film, I say.
It does not count.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I would go with The Damned Final Damnation, which, if you haven't seen it, was at that time a farewell concert. It turned out to not be a farewell concert, as many rock bands do, but it's just a simply amazing performance. It was put out by Enigma Records on Laserdisc and VHS, and I really recommend it. It's an amazing performance if you like classic punk rock. I can't wait for Christian's answer to this because he's the most legitimate musician in the group.
It's probably underwhelming to you, but one of my favorites I frequent a lot is Alice Cooper live in Montreux 2006. He had Brother Kane singer Damon Johnson, I think his name's Damon Johnson, on guitar during that time, and it's a great concert. Great set list. He had a lot of cool stuff. He had some new stuff, a lot of old stuff, and the band was on fire. And Alice sounded really vicious on like Lost in America. He sings it really aggressive. It's much different from the record, but it works really good. It's a great concert. That's one of my favorites.
Lost in America, written by Iggy Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Alice Cooper performing an Iggy Pop song is one of the most perfect things to ever exist.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Detroit represent.
Yeah.
Dan, I know you're not a huge music guy, but do you have a favorite concert film?
I could do musicals. As far as concert films, was it the Zombie Horror Picture Show? The Rob Zombie one? I might be saying that name wrong, but that's the only one that comes to mind. I could do musicals, but concert films are not my area of expertise.
Steak, you got one?
I got a couple. It's hard to really pick one. Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare Tour, 75. I mean, that's one of the first concert films I think I've ever seen. And, you know, what a treat to be that stage show at that time. Another one, I don't know if it was ever like, you know, professionally released or whatever, but Guns N' Roses Tokyo 92. You know, it's you know, post Use Your Illusion. Axl Rose, I swear to God, he sprints from start to finish up and down these fucking ramps all across the stage, and it is spot on perfect. Every note is in the perfect place. Like it's mind blowing just from a vocal level, and then you add in, you know, the drumming, just the songs themselves and all that shit. So that one's amazing. And then, Christ, I can't remember where it is. There's a Michael Jackson show in somewhere
Live in Bucharest.
That's the one. I fucking love that one. The Dangerous Tour. Oh, baby. It's a consummate professional entertainer.
There's another one. There's another one I just thought about too. It's somewhat of a bootleg, although they kind of started posting some footage on the channel. But it's like Live at the Bayou somewhere in Seattle, Washington. It's Blue Oyster Cult '89 on the Imaginos tour, and it's sensational. I dig for that kind of stuff, you know. But I don't think it's like it's like a bootleg kind of thing. But they were recording all the soundboards for those shows during that time. And I've scoured the web for it, and I found some footage, and the band was on fire. Even though half of the guys were different, it was still incredible.
Have any of you ever seen the Cramps live at Napa Mental Hospital? That is unreal. That is legitimate. Like, you know, Johnny Cash, of course, doing live at San Quentin. Well, the Cramps took their show to a mental institution before they were really well established as the Cramps. So how hardcore awesome is that?
Is that online?
It's on Blu-ray now.
Sounds interesting. I might
speaking
check
of the
out.
Cramps, I visited the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And there's a nice little, you know, Cleveland Rocks exhibit, and there's quite a few pieces of Cramps merch or you know, memorabilia. It's not merch.
There's Cramps stuff in there, and there's also Death of Samantha albums in that the big local display, which no one talks about them, but they were a great punk rock band from Cleveland.
But yeah, like they just have. I don't know if they purchased it or if it's just a mock-up, but the old like CBGB's front.
Oh.
I saw like that. My eyes went. You know, like to actually see that, whether it's the real thing or not. I honestly don't know. I don't read, so
I loved my visit to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and like the thing is, like I know we all get like wonky about the induction ceremonies and who's in and who's not, and the people that have been snubbed. All that's legit, but the actual building is if you're a rock fan,
so cool,
amazing, just amazing.
There's, you know, like they've done a good job of being able to kind of like trace the roots of music to give you a very legitimate reason why some of the names that have been inducted, especially in recent years, are getting in, even though it's not rock and roll.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with that so much. I guess.
But, I mean,
if the oversight of some of the classic performers wasn't there, right?
It might be a better idea to have a music hall of fame, you know, but
well,
as it stands, they still.
What I don't like is when the same musician gets in twice in the time that people who deserve to be in aren't in at all.
It's ridiculous.
That's messed up. So, all right. Anyone going to talk? Am I going to cut you off?
Where'd you get that?
That is awesome.
Hops around in the water, burned your skin.
Great beach bod, by the way, Jake.
Thank you. I've been working hard.
You're doing crunches, buddy.
Crunches and some implants, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't go away, so I figured let's accentuate.
Lean into it, yeah, for sure.
So I saw The Meg too, and it was really dumb, and I had fun with it.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a shitload of dumb fun.
It's not exactly the movie you think it is. There's more going on than just sharks, like giant sharks eating pedestrians or swimmers. Pedestrians.
T-Rex?
That would be great, actually. Abbey Road with a shark. But there's more going on than that. It rips off a bunch of films that I hold close to my heart. It makes reference to a ton of films that are both good and bad. I had fun. And it made me start to think like shark movies. There's a ton of them. Let's talk about our favorites. And they don't have to be sharks. If it's swimming in the water and it's going to eat your ass, let's talk about it. I know Dan has a list.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch, but I did want to talk about Screamers, which has a very not that Screamers. Maybe I don't know which one you're thinking.
Peter Weller Screamers.
No.
Okay.
No.
Fine.
Although, yeah, well, I kind of see where you might have been going there. I guess you could say
Well,
there's some Jaws.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
Leviathan, and then you said Screamers, and then that's why, yeah.
Yeah, no. Peter Weller's great. Screamers is great too. That's actually a movie not a lot of people really went to see, but no. Screamers is a movie that I always really liked. It has a complicated history. It was directed by Sergio Martino as Island of the Fishmen, and then it was bought by Corman, and it got sort of Frankensteined around. They didn't think that they wanted to punch it up for more of an R rating because this is 1980. So, it's like, well, we need to kind of make it look like a slasher. So they brought in Jim Wynorski, who changed some things around, cut a new trailer. It had several title changes. But yet it still kind of works as Screamers. You have this gory opening that they added in. They created a cooler fish man that looks a lot better in quality than some of the stuff you see in the Island of the Fishmen cut. And I just think it's a really entertaining movie. I could go Humanoids from the Deep, but that gets talked about a lot.
That's awesome.
It is. That is, I've said it before. Corman had a string of movies right around the exact same time that I think are perfect B movies. Humanoids from the Deep, Forbidden World, Galaxy of Terror. I think just all perfect B movies. Not perfect movies, perfect B movies. Perfect. And Screamers doesn't get enough love. Screamers, Island of the Fishmen. I don't know if anybody else here has watched it. Scorpion put it out on Blu-ray. I don't know.
Dan, what are the chances that I didn't grow up with Screamers?
I know you saw it because Sergio.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion on the two different cuts? I mean, do you?
I appreciate both for different reasons. It's hard to say one's superior.
Yeah.
It depends what the mood I'm in. I will say I prefer the first film to its sequel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fishman and her Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a mess, to be honest. It's still a charming mess, but it's a mess.
It is. Very late in the game, though, too. That was like 90,
95.
Early 90s. Yeah, 95. Yeah.
Yeah.
Screamers is one I would say, check it out. It's weird because you've kind of got that old school Island of Dr. Moreau kind of adventure film, but then you have the added in stuff at the beginning, which is like insanely gory and more in tone with the 80s slasher craze that we were very heavily into at that point. But I think altogether it just comes together as a really perfect B movie, and one that they had to change because the original marketing campaign under the alternate title failed. So Corman pulled it, and all right, Screamers. You look at the Screamers trailer, it is nothing like the film you're going to see, but it worked. And I do think that's something you guys should check out. I think it's still in print. I think you can get a Scorpion releasing Blu-ray of it. If not, I'm sure it's about due to be put out again by Arrow or something, but I like it. It's a really strong, fun movie.
Definitely agree.
No, when you were referencing Screamers, you talking about Island of the Fishman?
Yeah, Screamers.
Full Moon put it out as Island of the Fishman.
Yeah, they put out that cut. I think most people are probably going to prefer the Screamers cut. It doesn't really take anything away. It's just got the,
okay.
Altered
I've got the Island of the Fishman Blu-ray that Charlie put out.
Yeah, I don't have that one yet, but
no. It's one of the 6 discs that he doesn't own.
It's more than 6. I don't have everything.
It's 13.
You have everything adjacent. Okay, it's like how we'll never really get to infinity, but like you get the concept, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes, it's vast, and they're talking Humanoids from the Deep in the chat. It's a really good double feature with that.
Yeah.
Less picking on Indians and fishmen. Steak, do you have any favorite big fish movies?
You're not gonna like it.
Ooh.
It's about the only one that I like outside. I mean, really, it's all the same franchise. So, how much does it count? Jaws: The Revenge. It's such a fucking fun time with that movie.
Yeah,
it's stupid as shit, but it looks nice.
What's dumb about it?
I mean, we all.
It checks all the boxes, man. I mean,
the fun, the shark, the fact that the shark's just going, I'm going to follow you. I can see you in the sky.
I'm convinced that the movie is the mom has lost her mind, and the whole movie is not really happening the way it is, but because she's so fucked in the head, she thinks that there's a shark
fish
mafia.
is following her.
Yeah, I keep telling myself that. Telling myself that to like convince myself. Like, no,
that's a way better movie, though.
It's okay, Chris.
Absolutely, it's a better movie.
And actually, it's a quick edit job too.
I've got an original poster of that movie hanging in my. I have a Jaws bathroom. I have a Jaws: The Revenge original poster full of yellow paper because like the nicotine. Somebody was a smoker that had the whole thing's yellowed. It's in my bathroom.
That makes it way cooler.
Yeah, it's oddly appropriate.
It's ugly. It's completely torn up and ripped, and it's all yellow from like nicotine.
As it should be.
Will we ever get all the footage they shot with Michael Caine's subplot?
I want that subplot so fucking
I don't know.
cool. Like, I can't believe they got rid of all that.
I like the TV ending too. It's like I don't know why they wouldn't put that on there. Like them blowing them up with like sonic wave yellow, like whatever. Come on, man! Like stabbing the shark is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if you watch the TV, the movie comes on TV. I swear to God, even now they're putting the theatrical ending on TV. I've only seen the boat stabbing happen once in like 2011-ish. When they had like a marathon, but they're not even playing like that on TV anymore. They're putting the theatrical ending in there. So like now the boat stabbing scene's going away. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but like I specifically remember the last 2 times they put Jaws: Revenge on TV, they put the theatrical ending on TV.
Is that the scene where it looks like it's like a toy boat?
Yeah, it's like a little miniature.
And the fucking shark
it's great, dude. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And I gotta say too, with Jaws: The Revenge, the little girl in that movie is one of the very few children that I was actually worried about and upset for, any potential
because
mishaps.
of all the crap that was
her
happening on
mom.
the set.
Her mom was a bitch too. Nobody liked the mom in that movie. Not the Lorraine, but like the Lance Guess's wife. Oh, she was a bitch.
Are all you guys too young to have seen it in the theater except for Dan? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I was alive. Yeah, I was not alive for it.
So
I was swimming, not in the ocean.
Oh my God. It was a great theatrical experience because people were laughing at the movie pretty hardcore. But here's the thing, like I will say, like the scene where Michael dives and he swims through the wreck on the ocean floor and the shark comes through into the wreck and is chasing him. There's an inspired piece of madness there. That is truly psychotronic cinema right there. If the film could maintain that level of what the fuck, I'd be a lot better with it. And as far as fixing the movie, man, it's so easy. You start this film with Michael and his wife and his daughter in the Bahamas already. You don't do the Amityville scene. You just don't do it. And mom just shows up like on vacation or some shit, and then stuff happens in the water. It's so much better than the shark like chasing her down the Atlantic Ocean.
Couldn't you argue? I mean, there's obviously a ton of Jaws ripoffs, and we'll talk about some of them, but I kind of feel like there's more movies that are chasing that craziness of Jaws 4 now than there is the original.
There's just I guess it did kill shark movies and for a long time.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea kind of I guess brought it back.
Don't talk about it yet. That one's mine, Dan. Shut the fuck up.
Fuck my bad.
Hate me.
Juice. I want to just mention one more because it's in the weeds. I know it's probably one that not a ton of people have watched, but Tintorera, Tiger Shark.
I love it.
That movie is probably one of the strangest of the 70s immediately after pretty much post Jaws ripoffs that centers on a what's the modern term? Throuple, 3-person relationship. It's throuple. There you go. It's basically a girl and these two guys who find love. It's like the Playboy Channel presents Jaws, basically. And I think that one is just crazy and a lot of fun. Not for everybody, but it is really probably the only, at least at that time, spicy Jaws knockoff.
Weren't they actually killing
spicy?
Weren't they actually killing sharks in that movie though?
Huh?
Is that the one? There's something from the 70s I was watching. They were killing sharks in this movie. Is that the same one?
Yeah, there's several that kill sharks, but yeah, they killed them with, what do they call them? The shock sticks or whatever. Yeah, you're seeing them die on screen.
No, that sucks.
Where's the outrage for that? Leave my cannibal Holocaust alone. They killed a weasel. Big whoop. These are sharks.
Hey,
worst.
Christian, have you seen Red Spells Red?
The what now?
Have you seen Red Spells Red?
No.
So, commonly referred to as the Hong Kong Cannibal Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene in the film in which a guy just guts a chicken while it's alive and eats its intestines while it's still screaming.
Well, that's for food. That's okay.
I gotta see better when they're screaming anyway.
That's where the adrenochrome comes from.
Absolutely no special effects there.
Not the
guy to do it.
Not the most shameless though. Shark with Burt Reynolds. Stuntman gets eaten.
Killed. They promote it.
Yeah, they used it to promote the movie. So that made like John Landis look like a swell guy.
Life hands you lemons.
Hey, any chance we can pigeonhole Rambo from 2008 into this? I mean, he is essentially a shark, right? And he does spend quite a bit of time in the water in that one.
I love that movie.
So good.
It's true.
It's my favorite of the franchise.
I would say you could rope Zombie into this. Like, that's the greatest depiction of a shark on screen ever.
Because they just drugged a real shark and acted with it.
I don't want to know how they make the sauce. Man.
Nothing could have gone wrong on that set.
And it didn't. It didn't.
Well, that we know of.
Fulci knows what he's doing with them sharks. Don't worry about it, brother.
Yeah, man.
Fulci wasn't anywhere near the set that day.
I got it. No,
he's a professional.
This is what I want you
that, to well, in fact, most Italians, they actually teach shark wrangling in elementary school.
Hey, what a problem.
The actor, Ramon Bravo, who was the oceanographer that did that and played the zombie, was also the guy that wrote Tintorera, the book that movie was based on.
It's a circle. It's all full circle.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of weird connections.
There's a Venn diagram to bad shark movies.
There is.
I really love Bait, which was released as Bait 3D in a lot of territories. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's just it's a great film. A hurricane floods a town, and the sharks are swimming through a supermarket trying to eat the supermarket employees who are trapped in the supermarket.
Okay.
It's dumb, but it is fun as hell, and no one ever talks about it. I mean, my other favorite one is The Shallows, but everyone knows that movie, and I think everyone respects that movie. But Bait, no one gives any credit to, and it's a lot of fun.
I don't
really
know why.
cheap, really
Never
cheap,
heard of it.
stupid opening scene. Most people, I think, turn it off at that point, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's such a cool premise, though. It's like you're working your way through like Home Goods, and there's a shark.
It's a fucking shark, yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Jesus
really
Christ!
cool.
Could you fucking conjure up a worse nightmare for me? Home Goods and sharks.
You,
Would you like to buy a bag for $4?
I would do a sequel where it gets into the monster energy and the shark just like powers up. It just goes nuts.
There's a Chinese ripoff that came out this year of it. That's virtually the same film. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I could probably help you with it.
Yeah.
But it's the same movie though. So watch the Australian film because it's better.
Yeah.
Australian films are going to be a theme tonight too.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. Not exactly a shark movie, but can't say no to Deep Rising.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Better than Deep Blue Sea.
I would agree. It's kind of a shame that we never got a sequel to Deep Rising, but I don't think
because the director made those fucking mummy movies.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
The Venom. Those fucking mummy movies.
Fucking mummy movies.
I want to see what happens though when they get when it's like they're exploring the island. I mean, we got that shot at the end where it's like, oh no, there's a whole bunch of these motherfuckers on the island. That thing was not relegated to the sea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. Nobody saw it in theaters. I don't get it. It's such a fun movie.
You're referring to. I've never heard of this.
Deep Rising, really, with Treat Williams.
Treat Williams.
Yeah.
Famke Janssen.
Yeah.
Kevin Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of tentacles, but they don't do what they do in movies that you watch.
Oh,
yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, why would you even?
That's why I'm so into calamari. It's just because, listen, if you're not using those tentacles, you're losing those tentacles.
There you go.
No, Deep Rising is, I didn't get to see that in the theater, unfortunately. That was one of the ones that I missed out on. But, so eventually I watched it at home. And all I could think of is, I wish I had seen this in the theater. It would have been such a better experience.
The theater was empty when I saw it. It was May.
Jealous. I'm jealous, man. But also because I'm going to be a fucking hipster here.
Uh-oh.
Technically, it's kind of a fish movie. But the 2012, The Bay, from Barry Levinson, of all people. So that's about, there's a toxic waste gets spilled in this bay, as per the title. And apparently it causes these isopods to start mutating. So the isopods, they're called Cymathoa exigua. Basically what they do is they naturally just attach to the tongues of fish and sometimes sharks. And they just kind of live, hang out there. They're parasites. That's what they do. But then these are big. And so they start attacking people, which is really fun. It's a fun concept, but and the movie's not terrible. It's just kind of.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I remember.
I like that.
Being just fun. Yeah.
Give it a shot. Does sound nice.
Well, did anybody else watch the Sharksploitation documentary on Shudder this week?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yes. Good overview of a lot.
For this. Yeah, it actually helped quite a bit. But anyways, what I was gonna say was it brought up a great point with Deep Blue Sea. And probably why that's one of my favorite shark movies is they use just anytime something sounds like nah, that can't be right, they go no science, it's fine. It's fucking science. Who cares how they can do it? You see a guy in the lab coat? Okay, he took care of it. That's why that shark can do that. And I'm down with an explanation like that, but we have to establish that early on in the film.
My favorite explanation. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You wouldn't get it anyway. You're fucking stupid. But no, moving on is that was a movie that I would show people and watch them. Just for the fucking Sam Jackson.
Pervert.
So on that alone, like, there's not a lot of shark movies that like I show people like that. There's a handful of movies you can do that with, and this is one of them. So it gets fucking brownie points for me for it.
Yeah.
What was the point behind that, by the way? Just fucking.
What, to subvert expectations by taking
I don't know, man. It was just so
an untouchable actor and wiping him out. Yeah,
I don't know.
I see. I hate when people do that. I hate when people want a character to survive simply because they like the actor. That annoys
It's the kind of movie. It's the kind of movie you can do it with. Remember, science explained all of it.
Right. I just listen. Sometimes you got to kill off a beloved actor to have a reaction, and people get all freaky. Like,
no, I agree. Like I said, I watched people watch the movie for it.
The beginning of the Godzilla of the first legendary Godzilla. You know, I don't care if an actor is on a really popular show and people like him. The character has to die because that's the story they're telling. Stop whining. Just stop whining. Watch the movie they actually made, not what's in your head.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I'm an artist.
I know I'm cheating here and bringing up more than one, but Ghost Shark. I sing the praises of this movie because I think it's the best of the dumb Sci-Fi Channel shark movies.
Man. I remember they were advertising that on Sci-Fi. What was that, like 2013, 2012?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So like any water vapor, the shark can come out of.
The shark eats a kid going down a slip and slide. The shark eats a guy getting water out of a machine in
the shower too, right?
Yeah, it gets you in the shower.
So it's like lightning.
Yeah, it's just a ghost shark. If there's water, the ghost shark can come eat you, and it is glorious. It is glorious. It's the only good movie I think Cool Duder's been in, and he's spoiler alert. He gets
he's still fat in that one. So
yeah, it's classic Cool Duder.
Okay, so a question for you guys. What movie have y'all seen that has the absolute worst shark CGI? Because for me, it's The Requiem because it looks like a fucking N64 shark.
Yeah, that was
that one was pretty awful.
Yeah,
I thought if I remember, I fucking hated it. At 47 meters down, uncaged.
I hate both movies.
Yeah,
those are both
movie
bad
sucked.
movies.
A pile of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people sing the praise of the first one, Lorne. I've never seen
I think
it.
it's just because it's somewhat more watchable.
I love that. I love 47 meters down too. I think it's stupid. I love it. I love it.
I honestly, I walked into that movie because I had no air conditioning in my car. So I just needed somewhere to hang out. And I'm like, I would rather go to sleep than finish this.
Oh, you ain't seen bad enough shark movies if that's your bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Well, did I
can't fucking do it. That bad CGI that they all use, I cannot. I shut them off. I can't sit through it.
Was it Santa Jaws? That has to be
like
the
an
worst.
allergy.
Santa Jaws is great. I was going to bring up the Shark Attack films. I loved those as a kid. I think it was like 99. Those are ridiculous.
The third one is
those are bad CGI.
There's worse.
Close around the time of like Boa and shit too.
Yeah.
Boa
most of these movies are too fucking stupid, and on the backs of them, when they were DVDs and like Blockbusters or wherever, they'd show you just how bad the CGI was.
Yep.
Instead of just hoping maybe the title will get you to buy it, and then you're just pissed off afterwards.
Hey, no, that's just business, brother.
People were getting pretty suit happy back then, man. You got to remember.
Yeah. You cocksucker.
Yeah, like just put the fucking thing on the back.
One of my favorites too. I swear to God, I'm not joking. I really love Piranha 2: The Spawning.
Oh yeah,
I love that movie.
Best Jim Cameron film.
Yeah.
Best Lance Henriksen film. Best Jim Cameron film.
It's not best Lance Henriksen.
What about the Aja Piranha and then the fucking John Gulager?
Piranha 3 Double D.
Ah, man, I watched that the other, I want to say like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Whew, you couldn't make that one today, could you?
My favorite line.
It's a classic.
Jerry O'Connell's legs are shredded, and I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he's like, the piranha got my dick.
Yeah,
it's like he's got bones for legs.
I fucking love the movie. I love both of those movies, dude. But
it's fun.
It's crazy that they made that movie.
Can I ask a stupid question again? I feel like I ask so many of them, but So I haven't seen Santa Jaws, but I was, taking a look at it, right? Is that a horn that it has? Is that a candy cane horn?
That's a candy cane.
Yeah.
Technically, when he okay, but
Hey,
that's
Sam.
a narwhal.
Science.
Science, Sam.
Science.
Where's the person in the lab coat?
Someone in a lab coat will be by shortly.
I mean, it's not going to stop me from seeing the movie. I mean, look, this already has better special effects than the Requiem.
I legitimately don't remember the explanation behind the candy cane.
You've got that came out around the same time as Nightmare Shark, which is Nightmare on Elm Street with a shark.
That's all one female director, isn't it?
Yes, she's on the
what's her name?
Location doc.
Yeah, she breaks down. That doc's really interesting because she breaks down what sci-fi requires of a shark movie, like its exact breakdown, like what actions have to happen in between commercial breaks and shit.
Very specific. Yeah, that's what I liked about the end of that doc. It wasn't just about Jaws.
Yeah,
it did take its time because now we've got like 10,000 probably shark movies connected to sci-fi or Asylum. There's so many.
Yeah, it was kind of like a mini Asylum sci-fi original channel movies, like a documentary in the middle of it. That was nice.
Yeah, they went viral. Yeah, Frankenfish is another dumb but not too dumb one I'd throw out there.
That's not a great film.
It's not, but
I can't sign on to that one. This is a bunch of people going down a river on a fucking raft. That's all I remember about that movie.
Yeah, Frankenfish.
Have y'all seen the 2021 classic Noah's Shark?
Oh no, I have not.
It's on Tubi. I just thought about it. I was really bored at work one day. It's like
is
like
that one of those Kirk Cameron films?
It's like this group of like philanthropists or something are going to like look for Noah's Ark, and they find Noah's Shark.
Noah's Shark.
It's actually a pretty great title.
Did anybody see Shark Side of the Moon? Like I see it like pop up all the time. It's this giant like anthropomorphic muscle shark.
It's kind of like I can't believe I'm actually watching this. It's fun. But it's like an acid trip. The whole thing is.
Looks like they just repurposed the baby alien, the combination between Ripley and the Queen, right? From Alien Resurrection.
The newborn. I hate that.
Yes, the newborn.
Puppet. I hate that puppet so much.
So you're not going to be watching Shark Side of the Moon.
No.
Come on, Lauren.
No.
Honestly, we need to have a segment on this show where people like make Lauren watch the like worst dog shit, and then we get him to review it.
I think we should vote on that.
I bet the chat would be down for it.
Wait, do I make money off this? Because if I make money off this, I might be okay, but otherwise there's no way.
Only if you're good enough.
He's gonna give himself a hot shot on purpose.
I'll tell you what, if you guys if you want to GoFundMe for 10 grand, I will watch Halloween Ends and live stream it.
I don't care that much about it.
I'll do the same thing for 8
I pretty much. But Christian might fucking get it. Is the bullshit part. Like Hobgoblin sucks. I don't like it either, but I'll watch it for a lot less than $500. But I'll do it for $5, ladies and gentlemen. I will watch Hobgoblins for $5.
Send your check for money order. All right, guys, ready? We've been doing a lot of tonal whiplash tonight. I think we're going to go from dumb shark films to one of the best things I think we've probably seen this year. So. Talk to me, people. Did everyone see Talk to Me?
Yes,
we sure did.
Okay, let's get like 20,000 feet reactions from each of you. We're going to start with Jonathan and skip me, and we'll go clockwise. Jonathan.
Do you like full breakdown or just
your 20,000 feet view, like how you felt about the movie, your initial impressions.
I didn't watch anything going in. I watched like half of a trailer and I stopped because it looked interesting. So I didn't even know that the shit was Australian until I got there. But I'm gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10. And the only reason I'm not gonna it's probably the best movie I've seen thus far. It's just it didn't stick with me. I'll say that. But other than that, I can't really point out a flaw in it. It's wholly original. And I can't think of anything kind of like it. I was leaning monkey's paw when I saw the hand, and that's kind of why I turned it off. So I was like, if it is that, I'll figure it out. But I'm glad I didn't.
Christian.
Pretty close to the same. I thought it was really good. I thought it had really, really cool visual stuff in it. And I liked it a lot.
Steak?
Yeah, had a good time with it. Saw it at the drive-in.
Ooh.
Double feature
Just
with
like the
the last voyage of the Demeter.
Which
I want to hear
also
about
cool,
that too.
but that's it. Well,
Yeah,
we can
later.
talk about that another time. This movie, I would say probably if I'm going to throw a number at it, I'd go 7 out of 10 as well. I will say that I did pick up on a couple of, and maybe it's just in my head, but a couple threads with one other movie in particular. So I'll wait a moment.
Yep, I think we'll get there. Sam?
It's the best horror movie that I've seen this year, but I feel like I was psychically attacked after I got out of it. So,
Okay.
Dan?
This movie I thought was a masterful take on material that on paper is very familiar, but there's so much more to it. I'm an A24 guy, but they did make bodies. So I was a little concerned going into this one. I was like, oh, this might be another bodies. Happy to say it is not.
I still hadn't seen. I have yet to see a bad review of it.
I can't imagine. It's elevated horror, but it's also again very familiar. It satisfies.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it'll satisfy everybody. It's
tight. 94 minutes.
Yes.
God damn, that felt good.
I
was
really
so
had trouble.
happy about that because not only
was
does
too.
it feel great, Jonathan, but it was also that was the second part of the double feature. So the fact that they got in and out of that was
My god! Like when I looked it up on the app and I saw 90, I'm like 100% going to see it now.
Yeah,
because there's some shit I'm on the fence about, and if you give me 160 minutes, we're gonna wait for the Blu-ray. Like I'm not fucking.
I really have trouble understanding these accents, which I know is kind of like a fucked up thing to say. Like British people, Australian people, I can't understand them. Like I really need subtitles. I can't understand anybody, I guess, but that's my only complaint with this movie. I couldn't fucking understand a goddamn word they said. I would pick up the last 3 or 4 words of the sentence and I would piece it together. But man,
before we move on,
Very
just because like kind of in that same vein, you know what bugged the shit out of me once I noticed it, and next time you watch it, you're gonna see it and it's gonna bug the shit out of you. Evidently in Australia, their fucking door handles are about a foot higher on the door frame.
That bothered Chris too.
Than everywhere else, and I was like, "God damn, that is inconvenient."
That would be good for him, though, wouldn't it? I mean,
Next time you see it, all the door handles are like a foot higher than they are here. Because they're like by their face when they're talking to you.
is it really an A24 film though? Because didn't they just kind of like buy it?
They bought it, but I think they had early money into distribution, so I don't think they had creative input, but they definitely.
Was that like an Australia like government funded, or not government funded, but like like a tax movie or
Australian
whatever?
Film Commission definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Co-financed the film with independent private financiers.
Mhm.
So I love it. I loved it, but as I've been telling people, it's like, and I want to be careful because I think this is the best thing that has been released domestically this year. Not that it's a domestic film, but that got on our screens in the multiplexes, right? I think it's the best thing by far that's been released this year that I've seen. And I've seen most things. There's a few things I decided I wasn't going to see, and one that got away. But I will say that it's not a terribly ambitious movie. It's really good. I've seen other things.
We're losing your audio, Lorne.
Your mic's gotta.
It's like you're drifting off.
Yeah.
Can you hear me
Michael
now?
Keaton's coming.
Now you're good. Yeah.
Yep.
But it doesn't try to do anything very new, and it follows beat for beat another film's entire dramatic structure. But that said, it is so good at doing what it's doing, you don't care that it's not the most original thing you've ever seen. Because we don't have serious horror films that double down on horror very often anymore. A24 is basically the only company that's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait till you see The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I desperately want to get there, but it's just my schedule has been like shit.
Haven't you seen it though already? I mean, you worked on it.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't
You were in the. Why did you need all that fucking soil anyway, man? That's weird. They just fucking grow tomatoes in New Jersey. It's fucking weird.
Those are
Listen,
some terrific tomatoes, by the way.
they are.
I also want to point out Sophie Wilde, the star, first movie,
Yeah.
really good.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole cast was really good. I was a
Yeah.
little worried. I was like, I don't know, these could be like annoying teens, and maybe it's
Well, they
being
looked
that
at
they're
least around age appropriate.
You gotta
Yeah.
accept it, dude. We're getting older. We can't relate to these kids.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But at least
I
they
was
were
thinking
young.
that this movie actually made me think about that, the way they're acting.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that they're Australian. This is not why
No,
it's weird.
it's
that
generational.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's wholly how like teenagers act with anything like
Mm-hmm.
in that vein. Like think about drugs or alcohol, things like that. Like they always go to the extreme. And something all terrible always happens. Are we doing spoilers?
We will, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I'll save all
well, okay.
that shit.
No. We'll just say that if you haven't seen the film, you need to go see it. We're gonna spoil little things. We won't spoil the very end of the movie. I think that would be kind of shitty to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can dance around that even. Like there's ways to talk about it without talking about it. So go ahead.
Like Jack and Me, right?
What?
If you saw the movie.
Oh no!
Steak.
I got it.
Did anybody? Because the only negative thing I've heard just a couple random people talk about is that nobody would actually do that. Nobody would.
I would
play
do it in
that
a heartbeat.
game.
No,
That's what I was
Yeah, I would
saying. I
No.
argued it. I was like,
Because
yes,
I
they
wouldn't
would.
believe it, so I'd be absolutely.
Yeah.
And if it were,
Yeah.
because like what I was
Uh,
getting off of it is these kids are kind of getting euphoric off of it, right?
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
it was a drug at the end of the day, like so.
Yeah.
Like
So-
That's
yes,
what I
like
would
especially with young people, if you offer them almost no consequence euphoria like that,
Oh yeah, they're
So
yeah.
what it is thematically is this is established in the beginning of the film. A character finds an animal hit on the road. I think it's a wallaby, and she can't bring herself to do anything in the situation. She's paralyzed in the situation. And there's reasons she's paralyzed with it, but all the kids are kind of like that. They're unable to act. They're unable to do anything to solve any problems.
Mhm.
So when they say, a number of them say that they feel like they're in the passenger seat when they're in this trance.
Mhm.
They're allowed to not make decisions. Someone else will make the decisions for them. So that's why it's attractive. That's why it's euphoric. The whole film is about breaking through that. And it's also about like you can consider the ghosts to be kind of like the social pressures around them, the voices in their ears, if you will. And like again, the key is how do you break through that to the outside? Because we see what the social pressures do, whether it's drugs or alcohol or suicidal impulses, which literally is.
that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like some of the most realistic peer pressure on film I've ever seen is in this movie.
Yep.
At the beginning, because that's how you're peer pressured. I think that's like just one buddy with you usually, like who's afraid to do something, so like he ends up talking you into it. It's not like the cool
It's
kids
never
bullying
like
you in
some
the corner.
fucking greaser with a switchblade going,
Yeah.
smoke it.
What are you, a square?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it's your stupid friends, right? So I thought that was pretty fucking spot on.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Best
off-
makeout scene ever. Actually.
Yeah, that's gonna win.
Poor dog.
Anybody else think about how they filmed that while that was going down? Because I was
I
like,
think that dog was just into it.
This.
He put his little paw in the ink and walked on the paper. It was.
By the
Are
way,
you-
I need to look up these people's names before we discuss this further because I have some choice things to say about that one bitch.
I got
Wow.
this movie kept bringing me back to one of the unused scripts. I think it was the David Scow Freddy's Dead script. that just about basically kids who kind of like put themselves to sleep to go beat the shit out of Freddy in the dream world. And I kind of got like heavy vibes of that, and I thought that was very interesting. I always thought that was a cool concept.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the hand is just, drugs for them. It's like you can't be fucking normal teenagers and just do hard drugs and drink. You just gotta go even further.
That's how we can do a new Elm Street steak sauce. We got to have a Talk to Me tie-in. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Turns out the whole time it was Freddy's hand.
Do you guys want to see a prequel though?
No,
no.
I don't think we.
I don't want to see fucking any of it.
I don't want to know how the things I like.
No, I don't want to know how it's made.
I just want to watch the things that I like.
These movies all have opportunities to explain themselves 100%. They choose not to for a fucking reason. Leave it be, people.
Yeah, it made me like weirded out because my mom had a huge collection of ceramic hands, and I was like,
"Oh wow!"
Not anything that you can hold and it'll transport you into another dimension or realm or whatever, and nothing is going to possess you. Hopefully,
yeah, they're all close.
Yeah.
So I do want to discuss like the fact that this is basically just a redressed Candyman.
Thank you. Yes, that was the other thing.
Because it's a film that takes a personal tragedy and the effects of that. In Candyman, it's not even a tragedy as much as it's a place in life that makes a woman unhappy. Like she realizes she's basically not achieved any of her life goals and that it's all fucked. And it leads her down a path that is on screen, on the surface plot, it's a supernatural intervention. But what's really going on is by the end revealed to be pretty simple. This film is basically that again, and that's not telling you anything really about the resolution of the film. But but beat by beat, like where the traumatic incidents and when what I call the throw happens, which is that moment in the film where you take a big jump forward to start the third act. This film does exactly that beat pattern, plot point by plot point, right down to the beginning, the party with the two brothers. How is that not Ted Raimi showing up to pick up his date?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Same scene. I just found it kind of fascinating that someone was clearly a big fan. Now, mind you, that's a really great template to borrow, so I don't mind.
Well, you're talking about a part of Candyman that like people don't like most normal people don't pick up on. There's a huge portion of the population that sees Candyman as just a
slasher,
a black slasher.
Right, yeah,
that's the one black slasher. Like, but yeah, like there's a ton going on in Candyman, and I agree. It's just most people don't ever see that,
and I think
they won't see it here.
It's nice to say borrowed from because they didn't rip it off. Like it's there are beats that are the same, and it's obviously if I saw it. Like clearly it's there and it's not, terribly subtle, I guess is probably the word. But I thought it was really well done.
It really is.
Candyman, though, I don't know, this comes up a lot. It does tell you. Like, it does tell you in the movie.
Well, and so does this movie.
I just mean as far as like this movie is also telling you. It's not just some clever like, ooh, I see, look what I did, and
yeah,
I don't have it. I'm not.
I mean, the last scene really just tells you what's going on. But, it might not be spray painted on a wall, but it still tells you.
Yeah. So that actually brings up something interesting. My kid asked me on the way out of the theater when the next one's coming out. So do you think that they fuck it up and then make another one?
They already have.
They're already saying, well, we'll make another one as long as A24 wants one.
Oh,
they're already on Twitter.
That sucks, man, because you can only hurt it from there.
Yeah.
My understanding is they've made it. Or they're...
What?
Oh. The prequel, I believe, is already made.
I feel like something like an ending like that, you can only harm.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's just like I don't see any compelling explanations as to
for Lauren's point, like what did Candyman 2 and 3 do for that first movie?
Nothing. I wish we
didn't
have any sequels to Candyman. I would be that never needed to be a franchise. I think one of the greatest horror films of the 90s by far, and people just did not get that movie. It blew my mind even as a younger horror fan watching that, it's like, well, no, Candyman's not real. Like it tells you, like it's not really hidden. It tells you what's going on in that movie.
It's also one of those rare examples where no matter how you look at it, the movie improves upon the source material.
Sorry.
Is it the
Chris.
mushrooms?
No, those were a week ago. No, I was looking at the chat. Actually, Chris said that the main antagonist looked like an evil Jonathan Taylor Thomas from the 90s.
I felt like I was getting some more
it.
Zachary Ty Bryan vibes, like, but before he changed his hair up in Home Improvement, you know, to kind of differentiate himself.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know if she was 30 or 13.
Touche. But like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I can understand where the Candyman comparisons are. I thought thematically, I didn't think it was necessarily like. I didn't think the suicide was a heavy theme. Not like I felt like this was more like thematically a movie that was like heavy with grief and addiction and how those interplay. You know, because what's her face, Mia. Sorry, I was like, I can't remember the main character's name, but you know, Mia just having lost her mom, she only wants to be able to, you know, come into contact with her. And, you know, when she's able to do that through the hand, she only wants to do that. Like, that's her thing. And there's a lot of collateral damage that happens around her as a result of that. So, and usually, you know, stories of addiction end one of two ways. And sure enough,
I don't think that
terribly happy that I did not pick up on that while I was watching it. That would have bummed me out quite a bit.
I think that's still part of the surface story, though.
Yeah, I think you could watch. I think you could pull a couple different things away from it if you really focused.
I think that it's intentionally part of the surface story, though. I don't think the film is really about addiction. Oh, I might be a little deep to get into here, but she doesn't descend because of. I mean, they make a point to say that she lies when she says she's only ever once done marijuana, right, to the mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's clearly a lie. However, but she's definitely medicating because of the trauma of losing her mom and because of her own sense of survivor guilt. For lack of a better word, and maybe even something deeper than that, because there's a line of dialogue that's really cagey and clever that makes you think that it. Again, I don't want to spoil big things about the movie, but there's a part about the relationship between her and her father that she feels very responsible for, and I think that I think drugs are almost it's the obvious metaphor, right? But I don't think it's actually structurally what the movie's about. I think the movie is about grief. That's absolutely true.
Right.
But again, it's like it goes back to that scene with the animal on the road. That's why the animal appears at the end briefly to draw you back. I think that's the more important thing. It's not a feel-good movie, but here's the thing I want to avoid. We're making it sound like it's a much more harrowing experience, I think.
Yeah, it's not a...
No, it's a very fun movie. Like, you could...
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could watch it, really, and if you just turned your brain off and stopped looking for stuff, it's still a fun time.
But there's reasons it works, and that's what we're looking at, yeah. I don't know. And I gave it an A-, which is a very high score. Again, if it had done something, if it had broken the mold and gone to its own place, it probably would have been a straight A with everything else it had going for it. But honestly, this is a year where nothing's approaching an A-, so it's definitely going to end my year in the top 10 list, and it may even be the highest horror film on the list by the end of the year.
You're muted there, Christian.
No, I'm not muted. I'm not muted. I'm sorry. Demeter is way better than Talk to Me. It's not even close.
I
can't co-sign it now.
Well, go fuck yourself. I don't care what you think.
I've watched nothing on.
You know, I send you the videos.
I got to get out to Demeter this week. I'm
Yeah.
Positively encouraged. I will say that it's very depressing that although Talk to Me did very well for its budget, relative to its budget in American cinemas, Demeter is taking a pretty horrible acid bath at the box office.
Kind of figured.
It's not
Yeah.
unexpected to me, though. I don't think.
Well, this
Horrible
is like
time
the
to release
contract.
this movie.
Period
the
horror,
contract-
I guess.
This is the contractually obligated follow-up to Oppenheimer, so they couldn't release anything seriously for 3 weeks following Oppenheimer. It was Universal couldn't release shit. So what do you dump after your biggest movie of the year?
Yeah, it
got picked. It got Januaried in the middle of July or in the middle of August.
Yeah, it's too bad. I guess general audiences and period piece horror just doesn't. Maybe it's also
it looks awesome though, man. Like, how do you not look at that and think?
You got Billy Corgan on the in the ad.
The world is a vampire. I thought that was dope.
Yeah,
personally,
we spent a good amount of time tonight talking about how you really can't make a movie like The Exorcist now, and this certainly is by no means the same thing. It's not completely lacking similar DNA. And again, nothing about religion, but there's a whole bunch of different shit that we just talked about that is very much kind of uniting, like a uniting problem, I guess, if we're not going to be united by religion of whatever degree. So I guess maybe I guess the question is it possible that we can still make something like The Exorcist? And would this be an example?
Yes, but you can't call it The Exorcist. It's got to be something original.
Of course.
Well, my point is, yes, it happens all the time.
Well, no, I'm not going to go there. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I just modern audiences, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, all of that. I mean, that might be something we just have to be happy having it in the past. Modern audiences just don't seem to care. I told a lot of people, like, you should go out and see Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's like, I think I'll just wait for streaming. But they'll go out and see Exorcist. They'll go out, well, maybe. They'll go out and see the new Scream movie without question.
What's tribalism? Is that the word I'm looking for here? Somebody smarter than me, correct me. But
potentially.
That's what a lot of this comes from, though. Like the Halloween shit. I know most of these people don't watch these fucking movies on the regular, but like everybody's talking about it and it's fun and like you want to be part of what's being talked about and what's relevant. So
yeah.
And Exorcist will probably be that this year.
I'm curious. I mean, I do tend to lean towards it's going to make a bunch of money.
Unless another Hocus Pocus came out. I didn't hear.
I think
that'll take priority.
Did it? I think it might have. Or it might be.
Oh, no shit. No, that sounds horrible.
They may still be filming it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw something.
Third one already?
Dude, I know the dude whoever greenlit that at Disney, they better have given that dude several bonuses by now.
They can't afford a bonus anymore.
Well, I mean, not now, but leading up to. Because you ever seen them milk one franchise like as hard, one movie for 20 years?
No. How did we not get Hocus Pocus 2, which I think there's more of an audience for it?
We did get Hocus Pocus.
We did get that last year.
Not in theaters though. I'm saying like you get a big budget haunted mansion. No, it wasn't in theaters. I can guarantee I did not see it anywhere. But we get Haunted Mansion. Yeah. It just seems like they had more of a chance to make money off Hocus Pocus 2 because people have been begging for it for so many years. It's a weird choice by Disney. I don't know.
Maybe they decided it was just a piece of shit and they should just dump it on their app.
They didn't do anything with it.
So the thing is, Disney's trying to figure out how to support Disney Plus in ways that, because the problem is you need at least a major tentpole release every 3 weeks to keep a subscriber base.
Yeah.
And they thought that was the winner for that October. And it probably was, but again, it only gets you to January, or it only gets you to December, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to keep pumping this stuff out. And unfortunately, people are expecting theater quality movies at their subscription price for these streaming services. It's not a good model.
No.
Oopsie.
Look at Netflix. I mean,
you know, Netflix didn't turn a profit like at all during its like huge, like its biggest times. It was always losing billions. Their fucking market share was based on what they thought they could potentially make in the future if nothing ever changed.
They're paying The Rock $50 million for a Christmas movie that people are going to forget about in a week.
Yeah.
If they watch it at all.
That's what I saw. That sounded weird, but I guess that's producer.
He may have that may be like a contract of movies, and that Santa and like that Christmas movie is going to be the first one.
Rock gets paid. He gets paid a lot.
Well, it's I mean, it's a world play though. I mean, they can license that title around the world. They'll eventually be fine with it. But so 50 million is not a deal breaker. And in fact, since you're not really going to advertise much outside your own platform or online, you're probably okay. But my problem with it is just that the content need to feed, Disney Plus or whatever your streaming service is. And Disney owns several streaming services, which they need marquee value for all of them. They've already diluted, their Marvel brand by trying to feed the beast. Their animation division and Pixar are both damaged. They got to slow down and focus on quality. All the studios do. But is there really an appetite to do that at the studios? I don't know.
Too much product. There's a lot of product films on Netflix. And even the people that like them forget about them in like 2 weeks. It's very little that's generated buzz on Netflix.
They don't feel nearly as legitimate.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm waiting for the YouTube guy to clip all the best J.K. Simmons' fucking tough guy Santa Claus, and throw it up there for me to watch. Just those scenes. Past that, I don't care about that movie in particular, and I can say the same for pretty much anything they put out. Any original release. Like I think the Hulu Hellraiser was a pretty strong offering. I like that, but like generally these fucking Peacock original, Hulu original Max, whatever the fuck, they're dog shit.
Even Hellraiser, though, I'm a diehard Hellraiser fan, and I wish people embraced it more, but it's not really getting talked about.
No.
At all, which is too bad.
There's something to be said about the legacy of these movies that go to theaters and then find home audiences and then television repository screenings. And there is a path there that we're wired to expect. And when we don't get it, I think we are skeptical.
Yeah.
And again, okay, so you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Talk about it for a moment. Wait, here's Hellraiser. Hey, we need something else. Fear Street, keep going. It's that breathless pace of there has to be something new every 3 weeks. It's deadly.
Yeah.
I did think that was cool though, like a 3 week event for those Fear Street movies. Solid idea, maybe something to consider.
Like a television show?
Yeah, they were doing
right.
Tulsa
I mean,
King
I feel like
was one episode a week.
Yeah, like those things I feel like you can make money on as a fucking studio.
Well, event TV's dead, right?
But
other than sports,
I know that a lot of people were excited for what was that video game movie or TV show? I loved it. Fuck,
Twisted Metal.
It. No. It was that Last of Us.
Final Fans.
Oh yeah,
Last of Us, dude. People were chomping all week to get to that next episode.
Really good, yeah.
I loved that. That was so fucking good.
Yeah. Twisted Metal's fun too. I mean, once in a while you'll get
I love that shit.
Something that but it's also like, I mean, we might be looking at like 2 or 3 years at this point before we get another Last of Us.
That's fine. Take your time, because if it was that good, I will wait. I will wait for quality.
Yeah, the strike though too. I mean, I don't know.
That's gonna be interesting. Like, depending on how long that goes on, it's gonna change a lot in the next year or two.
They said it's a disaster basically if it goes past August. Like, it's already bad, but if it goes past August, I guess that was like that tipping point where it's like,
it's gonna be a disaster then.
Yeah,
it's not. I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, they just matched the 05 or 06 writer's strike. They just matched that. Just past 100 days. Yeah. And that fucked everything up for a while. I don't know if everybody else remembers that.
Everyone
Killed
who's,
TV for a long time.
everyone who's part of the Hollywood system needs to wake up that this only is going to hurt everyone in the long term. Whether you're a producer, whether you're a writer, whether you're an actor. Because the whole deal is Hollywood is not a necessary thing anymore. You can make movies anywhere.
Yep.
And the truth is there are no more movie stars besides Tom Cruise anyway. So there's no need for Tinseltown. It's vestigial at best. So I think if this goes on any longer, you start to get, much like during the pandemic, indies and foreign films on screens even more. I mean, I see it more now than I did before the pandemic, certainly, and it's only going to increase if they can't keep up with new product out of Hollywood. Guess what? At a certain point, people are going to say, I don't really care about the live action remake of a Disney classic. I don't care about another Transformers movie. Give me this little film like Talk to Me that looks like this generation's The Exorcist. Yeah, I drew all of it together right there, except for sharks.
It's show business, folks.
But I think this is going to hurt everything.
It's also self-reflection, though. I mean, some of the stuff that they have in the pipeline that they should know better, they can at least cut it. Because there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, guys, look at what's going on. Do you really think this is going to make money? Don't do it.
Yeah, you're right. There is some shit you can see from a mile away. Like, that was never going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like Quibi.
Oh, God.
Yes. Didn't that shit die before it launched or something?
Maybe. What was the other piece of shit? Universal put it out as like yes, that one.
I had CISO briefly.
I've never even heard of that.
I did the trial to watch like the two things that anyone that I cared about on it. This sucks. User interface was terrible.
Was it short form content?
It was gone before I got back to Jersey. Like fucking fall of 2016.
Was it short form content? Like Quibi?
I think they had all the SNL episodes there for a while.
Oh, okay.
But they also had stand-up specials by, like, I remember I signed up for it because Laurie Kilmartin had a special on there, and I was like, cool, it's only going to be on CISO. I guess I'm going to sign up for CISO.
Yeah, that's actually, you know what? That jogged my memory. I actually signed up because Doug Stanhope's special that year was put on there. We watched that the night we packed to leave for the tour. Shit, that's crazy.
And like, just think of the fact that, like, those comedians that sold their specials to CISO, where are their specials now? In the
Stanhope bought his back. I know that.
Oh.
Okay. I'm thinking either there was something baked into those contracts. I'm not sure, but I know a lot of other like stand-ups in like New York shows.
That was Universal.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of reversal clause. There has to be.
Yeah. But also, like, it's still Universal. Like, it's still their content, quote unquote. I guess.
You'd think so. Why not just move it to Peacock?
Right. Well, I mean, they probably have at this point.
Yeah, but I mean,
was 7 years ago.
That's true.
If they don't make it available for a certain amount of time, it has to be reversible. Yeah. It has to be.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a
bedrock law.
Like movies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
What the
fuck?
Do
you want to fall asleep?
No, I'm just saying it hasn't been available for a minute. Give it back.
Just it's been available throughout the world.
Yeah,
that's true.
That box set's beautiful.
You'll get some disagreements from one as well. At the second sight.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. I'm constantly having fun with it.
Mm.
Make it sound naughty. It's odd.
It is. It is a naughty thing.
I've worn out the track on the CD though. The "I'm a Man" song. When the fellas are taking target practice.
I don't get you not liking Dawn of the Dead, Lauren. That one's a head scratcher for me.
It's boring. It's a boring film.
You're boring. Shut up.
I actually go with Lauren on this. I'm not a big Dawn of the Dead fan. Now Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
All the Philadelphia stuff in the very beginning is great, and then
where?
The Philly stuff at the beginning. It's not Philly. Okay, whatever.
Pittsburgh.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a city, and that's fun.
Wow, he really did just block Pennsylvania like out of his entire brain. Like he knows everything except Pennsylvania.
I know.
So that's where you get him at trivia, folks.
I will remind you that I lost trivia to Dan, so no, that criticism doesn't work.
Night of the Living Dead is king, but Dawn
Absolutely.
is great.
No, it's
Day is great. I mean,
dull as watching paint dry.
That one surprised me. Did you always hate it, or did you have a turnaround? Is that?
I was always bored with the film. Definitely. I mean, like, yeah, the gore in the beginning is attractive, but then like they go to a mall and shop for 2 hours and sleep and talk, and
that's fun to me. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll take Night of the Comet. I will. I promise you.
See, I think Night of the Comet's one of the most overrated movies of the 80s.
Oh, you see, now the head's going to turn against Dan. It was turning against me, but now 360.
It's not great. It's fine at best. I do not get the love for Night of the Comet. It's I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
Better than Dawn of the Dead.
Not better than Dawn of the Dead. I want to pull.
Not by a long shot.
No, it's
We
better.
need to pull.
I got a pull for you, Danny boy.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna have to agree to disagree, and we'll have to agree that Dan's wrong. Anyway, everyone, where can we find you? Christian, what's going on, and what's the new release candles?
Oh boy, we have everything under this. Me and Sydney are gonna have a giant sale. We have like 20 to 25 listings. We're gonna put all up at one time. We're gonna do a lot of Halloween ones, Halloween season ones. We might bring back some of the director scents, like Romero and Craven and stuff like that.
Get that Dracula one back on the.
I think we are. So we're gonna have like 25 melts. We're gonna drop. So that'll be maybe this weekend. But go to if you have Instagram, go there and follow Unique Candles, and we'll keep everybody up to date on that.
Yeah,
and
the
we have
wedding cake is great.
Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna put that back up. Go to the website. We have just a few pieces left on the site. We put everything on 35% off too. So if there's something on there you like, grab it. So go there, go to follow our Instagram, and then on my YouTube channel, just a bunch of videos. I fly by the seat of my pants. I just figure it out day to day on there. That's Planet CHH. So follow me there, and that's about it, I guess.
For real, man, I love you do the candles with your wife, man. That's awesome. Like you guys do that together.
It's been great. Everybody's been really supportive.
You get to do horror, and like I imagine she just liked making candles in general. So you get to do like both your things at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, she loves
it worked out.
horror.
Oh yeah,
well, yeah too. But yeah,
Sydney, yeah, she saw that she'll get somewhat excited about physical media every now and again. She sent me a link to there's some kind of Universal like monster 4K collection thing coming out with like a collage of the, and she's like, can you pre-order that? I was like, yes, I'll pre-order that. She wanted that, so
yeah.
Steak, what's going on? Where can we find
Steak Sauce OTG on Twitter? Check out the Off the Grill podcast backlog on the Off the Grill YouTube channel, along with the other random videos, live commentaries, all that shit. I do want to complain that my copy, anyway, of the Exorcist 4K Steelbook thing that's being released in the UK was back ordered till October. It was supposed to be here this week. Before Saturday. So I'm still licking my wounds from that. It's really depressing to me.
Check like Diabolic or something, see if they have one in stock.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're usually pretty competitive on price too.
Good idea. Good call. I'll look into that. Thank you.
Sam?
Well, I mean, most of you guys know where to find me. I'm usually on Visit by Voices one with Lorne. Ethereal Funereal is still on summer break. Sheebie Jeebies just put out an episode, and it was me and Tall Chris talking to Stone Gassman about 1968's Targets by Peter Bogdanovich, and it was super fun. And if anybody wants to be on the show, please feel free to drop me a DM in like Twitter or Spoutable or Instagram. I'm kind of all over the place because you don't have to have streaming experience. I just want to talk to you about a movie you love or hate. I promise I don't bite. So, yeah, it's kind of, just an opportunity to platform, fans of horror You know, because I'm not going to sit in front of the camera and just, you know, review things. I'm not that interesting. But everybody else in the community is. So.
Dan, what's going on in the flesh wound world?
Flesh Wound features here on YouTube. We will be, well, most of us will be all together in California at the end of the month. So you'll get to see a lot of live videos that should be a lot of fun. What else we got going on? StreamXPW.com if you're a wrestling fan. And that's all I got right now.
Jonathan.
I am currently on hiatus, so I am currently under contract exclusively with Regionfree.
Emphasis on the high.
Because that belongs to us.
Hiatus, yes. But only here, folks. I'm doing that for ratings. You're welcome.
Until he strikes.
Well, we know how we break that strike.
How much longer does that strike have to go before we can get Region Free on like TBS or something?
Working on it.
There you go.
Sci-fi.
The queries have already been sent.
Even better. Then we can do wrestling crossovers.
No.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to be involved. We can. It can be.
By the time we have our TBS deal, we won't need.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten that Lorne is committed to come on a stream at Halloween as Happy Corbin.
That did not happen.
No, I
Everybody
remember.
I remember that happening. Yeah.
I'll go get the clip.
Did not happen.
Yeah, can we
Anyway.
get that? Can we bring that up? I don't know what I'm looking at, but
Have a great night, everyone.
Iris loves you.
That was the same shit as the last time.
Well, you picked the last one, and I made them like the last one.
You didn't like the last one? But you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah, because it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous? It's a classic.
I'm not really into all the weird cousin shit that was going on.
You lied to me.
You picked this one. You picked this one. Cousin shit.